Have you ever purchased one of those Elgato recording devices for your console so you can record your epic games that you play all the time? But then when you took one look at this little black box, you wondered, how in the world do I get this thing hooked up and working? Well, I was baffled too by how complicated this little thing looked. But once I Googled it, it was super simple, and I'm about to share that simplicity with you. Now, I'm going to be using, for an example, the Elgato HD60S. There are other models, but they're super similar, so the setup should be just the same. So, on your left side, we have an HDMI port and a USB-C port. And it's also labeled in. Now there is a third port, but we're not concerned about it because it has no effect onto this setup. And then on your right side, we have a port that is another HDMI port, and it's labeled out. Now I do want to set one thing straight. Your AV cable, you cannot use it because it does not take the AV inputs. So, you're going to need two HDMI cables. You need this and this, two HDMI cables right here. And then you're going to need a USB-C to a USB 3.0. Now if you're wondering if you have a USB-C to a USB 3.0, you just look at the USB port that looks like a normal one, and you look to see if it has a blue plastic piece in there. If it does, that means it's a 3.0 cord. You also need a computer that has a USB 3.0 port. Now if you're wondering how do I figure that out, you look at your USB ports and you look for the SS with the USB port symbol right next to it, such as the one on the screen. Next, you also need your Xbox, of course, and then you need your TV, which can be optional, depending on if you want to play on the TV or be looking at a small screen on your computer of what you're playing. So, we're going to start off by hooking up the HDMI cable to the HDMI port on your left side labeled in. Next, we're going to hook this up, the other end of the HDMI, to the Xbox. Then, this is used as a power cable and as a video transfer to your computer. You're going to be hooking up the USB-C to the USB-C port also on your inside. Then you'll be hooking up your USB 3.0 to your USB port that is a 3.0 or higher. Next, you'll be hooking up your second HDMI cable to your other side labeled out, and then you'll be hooking it up to your TV here, which this is obviously not a TV, but it's an example. Typically your HDMI port's on your left or the back side of the TV. And then you got it all set and ready to record as long as you have the program installed to your computer that is from the Elgato website. This is how simple hooking up your Elgato is to any device that supports HDMI. Now there may be some complications, but those are more software, and you can look up other videos on how to do that.